evening, you're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. We have a lot to get through in this bulletin. We talk about Karnataka High Court's verdict on the hijab ban. There is also another big story on Russia's invasion on Ukraine. It's day 20, and another big story coming in from China where there's a massive COVID outbreak. So stay tuned for the entire bulletin for all of these updates. We start off with Karnataka High Court verdict on the hijab ban. Today, the Karnataka High Court upheld hijab ban in educational institutions and dismissed petitions by Muslim students challenging the ban. Now, the High Court has said wearing a hijab is not an essential religious practice of Islam. Now, to give you a bit of a background, 6 students from Govt Girls PU College in Udupi started protesting towards the end of December after they were barred from attending classes wearing hijab. Now, the protest soon after spread to other colleges in other areas near Udupi as well. In the meantime, a plea was filed today in the Supreme Court challenging the Karnataka High Court verdict, which dismissed pleas seeking permission to wear hijab inside the classroom. And this is a PTI report which says that the petition has been filed in the apex court by a Muslim student against the High Court judgment. In the meantime, Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has appealed for peace. He said soon after the verdict in High Court, all students should follow the High Court order and should not boycott classes or examinations. We will have to abide by the court orders and will take strict action against those who would take law and order in hands, end quote. Now, the Udupi Muslim girls whose petition seeking permission to wear hijab inside the classrooms were dismissed by the Karnataka High Court on Tuesday said that they will not go to college without hijab and fight the case legally till they get justice. Now, in a press conference, they have also claimed that the verdict was unconstitutional. In the meantime, there's prohibitory orders in several parts of Karnataka. Bengaluru Police Commissioner Kamal Pant has issued prohibitory orders banning any sort of gatherings, protests, as well as celebrations of any type in any public space of the city for 7 days, which is between the 15th of March and the 21st of March. Away from this big story now to Ukraine crisis, it is day 20 and there are updates as Russia continues to intensify attacks in several areas in Ukraine, especially its capital, Kyiv. Now, the mayor of Kyiv has said that 4 people were killed in airstrikes in the capital that took place on Tuesday. According to the BBC, Russian airstrikes hit residential buildings and a metro station, and which is why there is now a curfew that's been imposed on the Ukrainian capital from 1800 GMT to 5 GMT on Thursday after recent bombardments in this city. Now, there was also massive destruction at Dnipro airport after shelling was reported. In the meantime, the situation in Mariupol continues to be severe. There are reports of the city facing lack of food, water and electricity. A BBC report says that almost 4 lakh people are still trapped without running water, food and medical supplies, and all of which is quickly running out. The city's deputy mayor has said that things are getting more difficult by the hour. Now, the city council of besieged Mariupol has said that over 2,000 residents have been killed since the start of Russia's invasion. So it's been 20 days and more than 2,000 in Mariupol alone. Now, the UN has said that the numbers fleeing Ukraine top 3 million, with around 1.8 million going to Poland. Now, the UN's children charity UNICEF has said that almost half of the refugees are children, suggesting that every second a Ukrainian child has now started to become a refugee. Also in the news, the IMF has said, and this is according to a report by the Kyiv Independent, that Ukraine's GDP will shrink by at least 10% if the war ends soon. However, the report says the war-torn country can lose 25 to 35% of its GDP by the end of the year if the war continues at the current pace at which it's going. In the meantime, the European Union has now imposed more sanctions. The Union announced late Monday that the 27-nation bloc has approved a new set of sanctions against Russia. France, which holds the EU presidency, has said that the bloc, and I quote, in consultation with our international partners, has approved a fourth package of sanctions targeting individuals and entities involved in the aggression against Ukraine, as well as several sectors of the Russian economy, end quote. Now, in an interview with a German newspaper, NATO Secretary General has said on Sunday that Russia might use chemical weapons following its invasion of Ukraine, and that such a move would be a war crime. There's also information that the prime ministers of Czech Republic, Poland and Slovenia are traveling to Ukrainian capital Kyiv. In statements from their respective capitals, the three leaders said that they would be offering their support to Ukraine's president as representatives of the other 24 EU heads of state and government. Also in the news, the UK's Prime Minister is preparing to head to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf for talks about increasing production of oil and gas to compensate for reduced supplies from Russia. Now, the BBC has reported that Boris Johnson, speaking to reporters, has said that it was vital to talk to other oil producers around the world so that the West could be less dependent on Russia. There's also a news report coming in from India where the government today has said that it is keeping a close watch on evolving geopolitical developments and would make calibrated interventions to keep fuel prices under control. And I quote, this is what the government has said, to safeguard the interest of the common man. Now, the Minister of State for Finance has said that natural gas, fuel and power subgroup in the wholesale price index is directly related to the fluctuations in crude oil prices. Now, India relies on overseas purchases to meet about 85% of its oil requirement, making it one of the most vulnerable in Asia to higher oil prices. Moving on to our other big story now, focusing on COVID cases in China. China has reported 5,280 new coronavirus cases as of Tuesday, the most since the pandemic began, as it faces by far its worst outbreak since the early days of the pandemic. Now, a fast-spreading variant, it's called as stealth omicron, is testing China's zero-tolerance policy. Most of the new cases are in northeast China's Shillun province, where 2,601 COVID cases have been reported. Now, smaller outbreaks are being reported in several other cities such as Beijing, Shanghai and Shenzhen. Remember, yesterday, China had placed a lockdown in the tech hub Shenzhen. In the meantime, those lockdowns are spreading within China as well. Symptomatic cases have been confirmed in 28 out of China's 31 mainland provinces. Langfang, for instance, a city just about 55 kilometers away from Beijing, has joined Shenzhen and Shillun province in imposing lockdowns. Now, more than 45 million people are now prohibited from leaving their homes. Many companies are also encouraging work from home. International flights are also being diverted from Shanghai, according to a report by Bloomberg. Now, Shanghai's Pudong district is encouraging companies to adopt flexible working hours and are also encouraging work from home. Now, what is this stealth Omicron variant? Now, the subvariant is also known as the BA.2 variant and is different from the parent variant. According to the World Health Organization, the BA.2 variant is likely to have the same severity as the original one. Now, these are the two of most common symptoms that are being reported. Dizziness and fatigue are early stage related symptoms in patients infected by the stealth Omicron. In the meantime, world stocks fell for a fourth consecutive session on Tuesday, and this was partly also because of COVID cases rising in China, but there were other contributing factors as well, such as the war that's going on in Ukraine and worries about the Federal Reserve raising interest rates this week for the first time since 2018 hit confidence. Let's now take a look at other news that's coming in from across the world, starting off with an update on the Mundra drug haul case. The NIA has told a special court in Ahmedabad that those involved in the smuggling of nearly 3,000 kgs of heroin, a consignment intercepted at the Mundra port in Gujarat in September last year, have links with terror groups in Pakistan. Now, the NIA filed a charge sheet on Monday against 16 people, 11 Afghan nationals, 4 Indians and an Iranian in connection with this case. Now, the 16 charge sheeted by the agency include 10 who have been arrested. The other 6 are on the run. There's also an update in the Nawab Malik arrest case. The Bombay High Court today refused to direct the release of NCP leader and State Minister Nawab Malik, refusing to give any sort of interim relief. Now, Malik was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate on February 23rd for alleged money laundering and active involvement in terror funding in connection with a 1999 land deal with Don Dawood Ibrahim's sister. Now, the court said, and I quote, "As certain debatable issues are raised, they require to be heard at length. Considering the grounds assigned by us, we are not inclined to allow the prayers in the interim application. Interim application is rejected," end quote. Now, on Monday, a special court had sent him to judicial custody till the 21st of March. Also in the news, the MOS Finance has informed the Rajya Sabha as of today that there is no plan to introduce cryptocurrency by the government. He said in a written reply, and I quote, "RBI does not issue cryptocurrency. Traditional paper currency is a legal tender and is issued by the RBI in terms of provisions of the RBI Act 1994. A digital version of traditional paper currency is called Central Bank Digital Currency," end quote. Now, he also said that the RBI is working towards a phased implementation strategy to introduce the Central Bank Digital Currency. Now, Supreme Court today gave some relief to channel MediaOne, staying the centre's January 31st order to ban the news channel from telecasting over security concerns. Now, the court has allowed the channel to resume broadcast again until further orders. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting had earlier refused to renew the TV channel, which is based in Kerala, the Malayalam TV channel's broadcast license, citing national security reasons without disclosing the exact grounds. Meanwhile, a heat wave warning has been issued in Mumbai, Thane and Raigad. Temperatures are expected to soar to 39 degrees Celsius. A yellow alert has been issued for North Konkan, Thane, Mumbai and Raigad. Now, news coming in from Punjab. Sandeep Nangal, who is an international level Kabaddi player from Punjab, was shot dead during a Kabaddi tournament in Punjab's Jalandhar district. Now, police has said that when Sandeep came out of the tournament site at Million Kurd village in Nagodar, 4 men opened fire on him. Now, Sandeep was rushed to the hospital immediately, but doctors declared him dead. Jalandhar police have now launched an investigation. And one piece of positive news before we wrap things up here on this bulletin. This is also science news. The Indian Space Research Organization on Monday successfully completed the ground test of the solid fuel-based booster stage of its new small satellite launch vehicle. Now, the new launch vehicle is now ready for its first developmental flight, which is scheduled for May this year. Now, the launch vehicle will carry smaller payloads of about 500 kgs in comparison to 1,750 kgs carried by the PSLV. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.